Hello, Digger fans, and welcome to another installment of Mines MidWeek with Colorado School of Mines head volleyball coach Jamie Skadeland. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good, really good.
All right, let's talk about this past weekend.
Yeah.
Friday, one of the most important matches of the season for you guys, I think you'd agree. But you got a 3-1 victory over visiting Colorado Mesa, who at the time was second in the RMAC standings behind you guys. Take us through that match.
Well, we had prepared all week for them, because we knew they had 5 players that we had to at least contain. And they run an offense that's very different than a lot of the offenses we see through the RMAC. And then, to be honest, even some of the regional teams that we saw in the beginning of the season. It's just a lot quicker. It can be a high air offense, but it isn't for them. And it kind of changes you and challenges you as a blocker. And so that is something that we prepared for all week. It took a minute for us to get that, because even in practice we can only create that so well because we don't run it that way. And so it took us game one to really kind of understand what that tempo was and how we needed to respond defensively and specifically blocking wise. And I felt like game 2, 3, and 4 we got it, specifically game 2, and I think we just started to kind of shut them down and make them feel offensively stuck a little bit, which is kind of the goal. And so that was good, and I felt like game 3 and game 4 we just had the momentum and we just carried on and we played, solid in other areas, and that's just what we needed to do. So, I think blocking wise was a good improvement.
Yeah, it was a very, very good win for you guys. Fort Lewis came into town on Saturday. Not quite as competitive, but again, they gave you guys everything they had and came away with a 3-0 win.
Yep.
Take us through that match.
Game 1 the focus was we had focused all week on Mesa. Saturday we really kind of needed to switch gears and go back to how do we stop Fort Lewis, because they've got some good athletes and good hitters. And in game 1 we did that. Game 2 we struggled a little bit. We got down early on, and I never like when we put ourselves in that position, because we're not always gonna get the win. And so we need to, at least kind of have a better fight, at least in the first 10 points. And so, after we kind of got through that game 2, game 3 was more of our rhythm. So, outsides didn't hit very well, but middles and rights did, and so that helped things. And it was just a good 3-0 win to kind of move on to the next week.
Yeah, it was a very good weekend for you guys. Melanie Wanamaker named the RMAC Offensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this year. Danielle Johnson-Hazelwood named the RMAC Setter of the Week for the 4th time this year.
4 times?
4 times in 8 weeks, so congratulations to those two. But I want to talk about something different.
Yeah.
Hannah Marga
Yeah.
was all over the floor this weekend. Diving, digs, served well. Obviously, she's been one of your leaders, not only this year as a senior co-captain, but in the years past. So kind of tell the fans at home what makes Hannah special and what she brings to your program.
Hannah has had the libero position for 4 years, and I think even from the team standpoint and even the coaching standpoint, you start to get a little comfortable with that. Like, you almost don't even recognize in some practices or matches just how much she's doing, because she's been back there for the last 4 seasons. And she makes a lot of things look easy. And sometimes in practice, when I put other people in the middle back, they have to work a lot harder, and just maybe they're reading and things that Hannah just has down from all the repetition she's had. Hannah runs our defense back there. She's in complete control, and I completely trust her, and I'm okay with that. And she hasn't been recognized enough in the last couple of years, and especially the last 2 seasons. Last season wouldn't have been the season it would have been, or it was, without her. And the same with this year. And so, we're just really looking for Hannah to stay consistent. She's always kind of played with some injuries and stuff, but she's tough, and she's been able to kind of persevere and push through. And I really hope that Hannah's senior season ends the way she would want it to, for herself and for this group.
Well, she's second in program history in digs, a member of the 1500 dig club, and there aren't many of those in program history. And on Wednesday, when this comes out, she'll be named academic all-RMAC. So obviously, not only good on the court, but very good in the classroom.
Absolutely,
as well.
great student.
Yeah, congratulations to Hannah. So let's look ahead to this weekend.
Yeah.
You guys currently have a 9-match winning streak going. One off tying the program record of 10 set in 2011-2012.
Okay.
Last year, got snapped by Western New Mexico.
Yes.
They're coming into town on Friday at 7 p.m. And they are second in the conference standings behind you guys. So obviously, very pivotal match for your program.
Yes.
What are you expecting to see out of them this time around?
Oh, they're a tough team. They're a tough team from the standpoint of it is hard to score against them. They have a lot of athletes. I would say their entire squad is just athletic as far as the way they play. Maybe not as disciplined as like we've asked our team to be, but they get it done, and that can be even more frustrating. They have a great block. One of their middle blockers is 6'4", and is a freshman and does a great job. Their other middle is a freshman, 6'1". Their two outsides are seniors and lots of experience, and their number 2 outside, she is a big swing blocker, and so that is going to really challenge Alana on the right side and how to score. And so I think, last year what happened was we would swing, they would dig, and then we would err, or it would end with the block. The play would end with the block, and it just happened over and over. And it, kind of like we talked about earlier, they did their job. They made our hitters frustrated, and then I don't know how many hitters came in the timeouts asking coach, where do I swing? Where do I go? Because they felt stuck. And so, we're kind of acknowledging that from the beginning of this week, and kind of like last week, we are spending the whole week just, how are we going to win this game? This is a big game for us. So we've got to step up. We've got to be in system. We've got to serve tough and make sure that they're not in system. We've got to be ready for their shots. Their outsides can hit on all parts of the court. We just have to be ready to go. Big game.
Yeah. You guys are going to get the best shot of every team in the conference, like most of our sports programs are, especially coming off of your RMAC championship last year.
Right.
So let's look past Western New Mexico. I know coaches don't usually like to look past the upcoming match, but let's do it real quick. New Mexico Highlands coming into town on Saturday. You haven't faced them yet this year, neither one of these two teams, but what are you expecting to see out of the Cowgirls?
Well, I think they're looking to get a win, and I think just like any team, they would love to get it against us. And so Saturday is going to be about, how we recover from Friday and just playing solid. I think it's going to be more about how we take care of the ball on our side and how well we just kind of run our system. I think that's what Saturday is going to be about. Fort Lewis, in that moment when we had a big Friday match and went to Saturday, game 2 was a lot of errors for us. And so the same is going to be for this weekend when we come off of a big game on Friday. Saturday, we just need to maintain those errors and just play solid, play our system.
All right.
So.
Well, Coach, good luck this
Thank you.
weekend. Fans, just a reminder, on Friday, the Orators will host Western New Mexico at 7 p.m., and 8 fans will get a chance to win free Jimmy John's for a year in that matchup. And then on Saturday, New Mexico Highlands is coming to town for a 5 p.m. matchup, both matches right here at Lockridge Arena. That's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next time.